All right, so let's touch the new topic in AWS EC2, which is Hibernate. So in order to know more about hibernation, let us understand the EC2 states that we are already aware of, that is stop and terminate, right? So let's start with stop. So what happens when we put the state as stop of an EC2 instance? Basically, all the data on the disk. Now, when I say the data on the disk, I am referring to the elastic block storage. Okay, so that data is intact for the next start. All right. So whenever you just start, you will get your data back, right? But it will take some sort of time. Usually it takes 45 seconds to 1 minute. Okay. And now a second is terminate. So terminate is like your root volume is also destroyed after you terminate your instance, right? Now, when it comes to hibernation, what we are actually trying to do is we are actually trying to encrypt the EBS boot volume. Okay, so that whenever we are just resuming our services, it is back as it were previously, right? So if we want to compare it with the real life scenario, so in Windows we have an option for sleep, right? The same way we have hibernation EC2 instance, right? Now, what happens actually when we start an instance, right? The OS boots, okay, and if we provide any script in the user script section, which is at the very much bottom, that is the additional scripts, the script is executed, right? Then the application starts and then the caches get found out. This happens on the startup, right? Now, what is EC2 Hibernate? So EC2 Hibernate is a feature in AWS that allows you to pause your EC2 instance and resume it, just like putting your computer into sleep mode. So this is what we discussed earlier, right? Now, how things are working at the back end, let us understand. So when you hibernate an instance, all the contents of the memory, that is RAM, it is written to the EBS volume, right? But here, one thing to note is like whenever you want to mark an EC2 instance into hibernation mode, the root EBS volume should be encrypted. So that's the primary requisite for hibernation, right? If you do not encrypt your EBS volume, you won't be able to hibernate your EC2 instance. We are going to see both the scenarios in the following video. All right, so let us discuss the second point, that is the instance when it is power off. It shows similar, so basically when the instance is power off, it is similar to how a computer is hibernates, right? So basically it's just like sleep mode in Windows, we have hibernation in EC2. When you restart an instance, the saved contents are loaded back to the RAM and the operating system resume from where it was there before the hibernation, right? Now, what are the use cases where do actually we use the hibernation thing, right? So basically it can be used in development and testing environment. So it quickly resumes the development environment without having to restart and reconfigure all the application. Second is the cost saving. Hibernation instances during off hours resume when it needed. So it's saving the cost without losing the data, right? And third is long learning processes. So it pauses the long running processes such as simulation or batch jobs and resume later without any interruption, right? So let us do an overall summary, whatever we have learned so far. Imagine you are working on a project on your laptop and you don't want to shut it down because you have multiple applications which are running parallelly. So what you do, you decide to put that instance into hibernation mode so that when you turn it back on, everything is just as it was before the hibernation. EC2 hibernation works the same way for your cloud instance, letting you to pick up the right place where you just left off. All right. So that was all about EC2 hibernation. We are going to see a practical demo in the following video where we are going to check how we are able to create an hibernation EC2 instance and what will happen if we do not encrypt the EBS volume and what will happen when we encrypt the EBS volume. All right. So that was all for this video and see you in the next one. Thank you.